Hello and welcome back to Ayaron's world. Yes, that's right, I did it. For the first time ever, I've actually installed a snapshot. I haven't waited for the official release of Minecraft 1.5, I think it is. I decided to install the snapshot because the new additions to the game are just too good to wait. If you remember, I was saying that I wanted to start working on a Minecraft storage room, a better one than that, where a lot of stuff sort of gets mixed together. Like, you know, this has got cobblestone and slabs and stairs, and this one here is just a hodgepodge of everything that's organic. So, as I said, I wanted a better one. Oh, you noisy things. There we go. Which is why I was hollowing out this space down here. Incidentally, these pillars here are because I wanted to find out where the edges of this room were on the surface. So that's what that's all about. Incidentally, because I'm using a snapshot, it's not fully compatible with Optifine. I mean, actually, to be honest, I've not tried it with Optifine, but considering the fact that the way texture packs work is completely different, I am just running well, not vanilla Minecraft, I am running the snapshot with no patching at the moment. So I ran Misa's texture pack through a converter, which I think it's Dinner Bone made available. So, because the texture packs are now completely different. Texture packs used to be a single ping, a single file that had all the textures on for all the blocks. Now it's all separate files for every block. This is meant to make things more flexible and easier and so on. And it probably will. But at the moment it means that the entire texture pack community is going, no! Anyway, one of the things I've noticed is this strange sort of oval. Do you see like a lighter oval bit in the centre of the screen? I don't have anything on my head. It's not like, you know, when you put a pumpkin on and it all goes green. So we're just going to have to ignore that, I'm afraid. There are a few other anomalies because I'm running the snapshot. One of which is the clocks aren't working. You know, obviously, whatever the animated texture inside there is meant to be isn't quite getting through. There's also a couple of redstone glitches I've noticed, which I'm hoping are just because the whole point of this snapshot is they are changing redstone and how it works. But this has led to a few little minor problems, which I'm hoping I'm not going to do anything to fix them at the moment. For example, that doesn't work. And the automatic staircase here doesn't work. Well, it sort of works and sort of doesn't. If I demonstrate, you can see when I close it, this block there stays down. And when I open it, the stairs don't go all the way up. So, once the full version comes out, if it still doesn't work, then obviously I'm going to have to rework all my mechanisms so they work. In other news, I have carrots. I was using that zombie crusher XP masher carrot machine, and after about half an hour, I finally got myself a carrot. So I planted some carrots. Now, I'm not sure I want to turn this farm on at the moment, because if the redstone seriously messes up, then I'm trying to think if there's any... No, okay. I was trying to think, is there a way that the water could spill onto the redstone circuitry under there? I think it's okay. So let's actually harvest this. And that will actually tell us whether or not this still works. Because this is the thing that really worries me. I mean, this was my own invention, and it took me so long to work it out, and if it was broken, then I would get rather unhappy. Will it close properly? Well, that looks promising. Yes. Okay. We lose some reed to there. I could probably lessen that if I built this wall up a bit, because these blocks there all drop down and the water flows from underneath this block I'm standing on. So if I replaced that half slab with like an actual small sandstone wall, then that should channel all of the sugarcane reed drops down where they're meant to be. Other than that, this still works, which I'm very pleased about. So I'm just going to quickly replant this, and then we can actually get talking about the new features in this new snapshot, which I'm very excited to start playing with. There we go, all replanted. I decided to plant mainly carrots because it's going to take me a while to build up an excess stock of those. I have already started some pig breeding. Now I am considering adding some soul sand here and growing nether wart as well. I'm assuming nether wart can be harvested by a water stream. Then that will be pretty good, because I don't need as much wheat as I did before. And I think, you know, again, I know you can make more fully automated farms, you know, with pistons that auto-detect when the reed grows and knocks it off straight away. And, you know, if we find we're running low on something, then I might consider industrial farming. But for now, I'd rather stick with this more, you know, more natural-looking farm that just has a nice auto-harvesting technique. So I'm just going to pop everything in here for now. So, I'm going to grab the stuff I need so we can start messing around with the new stuff. Okay, well, I've cleared myself a little space here in this sort of natural amphitheatre, which is just beyond the forest wall. My base is that way. So I've got a bit of room to play around with the redstone and these new items. Now, the first thing we need to talk about is the quartz. Now, that's redstone. There we go. Nether quartz ore. So you find this stuff in the nether, and it looks like that. Obviously, this doesn't have a texture pack from Misa yet, so this is the default texture pack showing through. This is one of the advantages of this new every texture has a separate file thing, is that if one's missing, it just defaults back to the default. Obviously, because it's called a default, but you know what I'm saying. So if you break this in the normal way, you get 1 quartz. If you break it with a fortune pick, then you get more. Well, you've got a chance of getting more than just one piece of nether quartz. So I've been using Silk Touch to collect it and then store it, and then back in my base I can just do that, and I can get my nether quartz. So that time I only got 1, unfortunately. But if I put down a few more and chop my way through them, there you go. So I've got 10 out of those 4 total, I think I did. So, you can use nether quartz directly in the recipes for some of these new block types. Or, and this is quite exciting, if you put 4 of them together, you get a block of quartz. Now, a block of quartz is just a building block, but doesn't that look good? Again, this is the default texture, so that is just a really nice... Sorry, I'm trying to save my pick because it's really running out, and I can't repair it. Even if I try and repair this with a single diamond, it says it's too expensive. So, which is strange, because I was able to repair it with single diamonds last time. I mean, maybe the cost, you know, the experience level cost of repairing stuff with an anvil goes up the more you repair it. I don't know. So tools do have a finite life. Anyway. If I can get some more of those, I've got a little bit of extra quartz there. Oh yeah, one thing is they've changed the stuff you can do here. Like, if I left-click drag, it will evenly distribute, like so. Right, so that's gotten me 3 of them. So if you put one on top of the other one, you get 2 pillar quartz blocks. So that way you can do like a Roman column type thing, which is cool. I need some more again, so let's... Oh no, I've still got it here. I've got about 7 stacks of this stuff already. It's not that rare. I had to travel a bit in the Nether to so it would generate brand new chunks of the world. So this stuff was in there, but you know, it's not that hard to get this stuff, which is good. The other thing you can do is if I make some more of these. Now, note, I mean, I'm only getting 1 of these per block. So it's not like when you do smooth stone and you put 4 smooth stone in and you get 4 smooth brick out. So if I put 3 of these across, we get quartz slabs. And if you put 2 quartz slabs together, you get chiseled quartz blocks. Which are essentially, they've got decoration on them. And you can make quartz stairs. I won't make any quartz stairs at the moment because, you know, I want to save my quartz for the moment. But this is a nice, bright, clean building material, which I'm looking forward to doing something with. So, do I have any quartz left? No, I think I used it all up doing that. So let's get ourselves a supply of raw quartz. So that's 26. That's a good amount. And we can start looking at these recipes. Now, the first recipe is a daylight sensor. 3 glass, 3 quartz, 3 half wooden slabs. Wooden slabs, glass, got the quartz, get some redstone so we can play with it. Because I need to learn exactly how these things work so I can start using them in designs, because I've got quite a few ideas for this new stuff. So we just pop that down. There we go, daylight sensor. Let me run some redstone off the side of it so we can see how it works. So, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, redstone can always run a length of 15. So if I actually put an extra one there, pop the daylight sensor down. Now the thing to notice about this is this redstone signal is only running 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's because this thing is actually telling you how much daylight there is. So as we fade into darkness, see that now it's only 3 long. And pretty soon it's going to go to only 2 long and then none long. And note that if I put torches around it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the signal. It's only picking up daylight. So I'm actually going to go sleep because I don't want mobs to spawn around. So now the sun's up. Right, so the first thing to note is, well, when you sleep in a bed, this is what it considers sun up, is here. And basically, as the sun climbs to midday, this will slowly stretch out to, I think, a full 15. So where is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So sun up is 7. And then there's another 8 that it can go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and then this was an extra one because I made that 16 long rather than 15. So I've got 2 ideas for this block. One is I want to hook it up to the lighthouse. So whenever the sun comes up, it stops the lighthouse running, and when the sun goes down, it starts the lighthouse running. That way, because you know, sometimes the lighthouse gets stuck, and with the daylight sensor, it means it will automatically be resetting itself every sundown, and it means it will run during the night, which is when a lighthouse should run. Now, I'm pretty certain that if you let me grab some dirt. So this is currently going up to there. I'm pretty certain that if you shade it, it's still getting daylight, but I think you can reduce the amount of daylight it gets. What I'm trying to do is bring that back. So it's still there. So I thought you could... that it could sort of detect differences in light in this way as well. There we go. It's brought it back to there, although... is it still midday? No, the sun is still climbing in the sky, so this should be heading out that way, but I sort of pulled it back to there. Because what's happening is the sunlight's coming down, hitting the ground there, and then having to go sideways before it reaches the daylight sensor. And as the light goes sideways, its light level drops. So if you want an accurate reading, you have to have it exposed straight to the sky. But if you don't care that much, or you take into account the fact that the light's coming in from the side, that it's a reduced signal, then you don't have to have it openly to the sky. The other idea I've got for this is some form of giant clock. Now obviously, I think when storms happen and rain, it will reduce the signal, so it wouldn't work for that quite. Now, I don't know whether this should be a clock that gets reset every time the sun comes up, and then after that it relies on actual redstone clocks ticking away, or whether I should just go for something a bit simpler, which is simply a sun tracker. Which will show us how high the sky is in the sky without having to look up. It'll be quite a large contraption. I don't know whether to build like a pillar in the center of my base, or put it on the side of a mountain, or something like that. But I will be giving that a think. So that's the first thing. So let's shove that in the chest. So the next one is a comparator. Now this is a redstone circuit that's got a similarity to repeaters, but its functionality is completely different. It looks like a repeater, sort of, but it's for a completely different purpose. So we're gonna have to investigate the properties of that a bit. So let's make one. Need lots of redstone torches for this. I'm doing the same thing with the redstone ore that I was with the quartz, is that I'm collecting it with silk touch, because then I can come along later with my fortune pick and do that. And that gets me the redstone I need. It's more compact. It means when I'm out mining, it doesn't take up as much space in my inventory. Let's make 4 redstone comparators. There we go, redstone comparator. I'm just going to grab a lever so I can demonstrate this a bit. So the first thing to note is that it doesn't boost the signal. If you count how far it's gone from this lever, because again, redstone usually travels 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comparator. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so it's maybe giving it a slight boost of 1. But let's actually make a repeater. If I replace, so currently the signal is going as far as here. If I replace the comparator with a repeater, you can see that the signal goes all the way. So that's as far as the signal would be if the lever were here. So, what's the point of that, I hear some of you asking? Well, as we saw, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So the redstone signal, when it reaches the comparator, has a strength of 5. So if I put a second signal coming in the side, that's stronger than that one, it cuts out. Because that's 1, 2, 3, that's only 3 away. But if I make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away, that one continues uninterrupted. So in this way you can compare two different redstone signals and see which is stronger. Now that's in the default mode for the comparator. It compares the redstone line that comes in from the back with one coming in from the side, and it can be either side. And if the one coming in from the side is stronger, it cuts the signal. Now, this thing has a different mode. If you right-hand click on the comparator, this torch at the end lights up. Now, note that the distance it's travelling up this line doesn't change. But now what it's going to do, when hang on, let's change how these levers are set up. Let's actually just put a lever there. So if I flick, so this lever is 1, 2, 3 away. So in the default mode, if I turn that on, it cuts that signal completely. Now in this mode, this is called subtraction mode. If I click this signal, if I turn this lever on, oh okay, it stopped. Wasn't expecting that. Oh, of course it is. Hang on, nighttime. As I said, I've seen people playing with this, but I've not quite wrapped my head around it yet. Okay, the thing to do is it's a signal strength, isn't it? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So this is a signal strength of 10. Yes, strength of 10 when it reaches the comparator. This was a signal strength of 12 when it reached the comparator. So you go 10 minus 12, and it's less than 0, or less than 1, so nothing comes out. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So it's a strength of 9. So when I flick it, 10 minus 9 is 1. So the signal that comes out has a strength of just 1. Whereas in the default mode, it just continued completely uninterrupted. So in subtraction mode, if it's a signal that would have cut it in comparative mode, it still will. Oh, this is interesting. Comparative mode, that cuts it down to 1. Okay. It is able to update, although there's a slight pulse. But you sort of get the idea, is what this lets you do is do the strengths of different things. Now you may be thinking to yourself, okay, but the only thing that outputs a variable signal is the daylight sensor. And that's where you'd be wrong, because there's the other stuff I've not told you about. So let's have a look at this. 5. If I shorten this so we're not losing so much of the signal. And grab a chest. Right, now I'm just going to put another track here just as a demonstration. So, nothing. No signal. Let's add some stuff to this chest. I'm actually probably going to add quite a lot of stuff to the chest. I'm pretty certain this works. I might need a comparator. Just grabbing some more random stuff. Yeah, okay, I think I need a comparator here. There we go. So let me empty this again. Reduce it. So you can see here the signal is only going as far as there. But if I add more stuff, the signal goes further. Now what it's doing is, if this chest was is completely full, like every single slot has something in it. And it's also how full each slot is. Like this slot is used, but you can get a stack of 64 quartz slabs there, and at the moment we've only got 4. So, you know, it is, how full is it? How stuffed to the gills is it? If it's completely stuffed to the gills, the redstone signal will go a full 15. Whereas if it isn't, if it's got less, then the redstone signal travels, you know, a lot less distance. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we consider this a half full chest. You know, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So what we want is, if this chest is half empty, we want a signal running down that line. So the first thing we do is we move our comparator from there to here. So now we're inputting this comparator into the side of there. And we want it in default mode. Now we want that line to be off if it's this full. And you can see the line is still on, so we've got to move our lever in a bit. Am I doing this the wrong way round? So if that is higher than this... Yeah, I needed to make this longer, didn't I? It's going in the wrong direction. Yeah, no, I've got it completely the wrong way around, haven't I? What I need to do is simply have the comparator coming... Oh, where are my comparators? There they are. Have the comparator coming out of the chest that way. And then the signal from the lever goes in the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lever, and that cuts the signal, because that's higher than this. No, oh, see, I'm getting this backwards in my head. What I want is, see, this now is going to make it so the signal comes out when it's fuller. If I add stuff to this. The problem is it's not actually a very full chest, because most of these slots can take a lot more stuff than I actually have here. So, okay, I can't work out exactly how to do this right now, but I know it's possible. You could have a system whereby, as you empty your chests, you automatically activate, say, you know, let's say that, you know, that this was full of chicken eggs. You know, I could have this chest by my chicken farm, and if I remove eggs to a certain point, you know, so we're getting dangerously low on eggs, it could start auto-harvesting the eggs from the chicken lays until it fills up to a certain point, and then, you know, you get the idea, hopefully. I'm not explaining it very well because I don't fully wrap my head around it yet, but this is the sort of thing I want to be playing with. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit watching me working it all out. And that brings us to this last block, which, oh, nighttime. Well, almost nighttime, which is the hopper. Now, to me, this is the most exciting block. This is the, you know, the best of the possibilities. So let's quickly make one. Put chest in the middle. Actually, let's make a couple while we're at it. Oh, okay. They've changed how the clicking works, you know, like all this, you can right-hand click to drop one, you can left-hand click to do that. If you double-click, it drags all things of that same item into like a little block. But it has sort of made the inventory clumsy. It keeps misreading clicks, which is a little annoying. Alright, so made 3 hoppers, let's go to sleep. And then I'll show you what the hoppers do. Right, so what a hopper does is, let me hold down Shift so I can do that. So a hopper has an inventory, and if there's things in that inventory, it will feed it down into the thing underneath. Okay. Let me just get some dirt, so I can make some scaffolding. But even more exciting is if an item lands on it, it sucks those items in and deposits them down beneath. And that will work from a water stream as well. So if you had these at the bottom of your mob drop, where the mobs die as they land, this will automatically suck in the drops and place them in a chest for you. You can have a water stream going over the top, and again, they will suck in the items. Now, that means you can fully automate stuff now. You know, it used to be that if you weren't there to collect the drops, they would despawn after 5 minutes. Now, they will automatically go through, which is cool. Lever. Oops. Now, if you set up a redstone signal running to the hopper, and turn it on, then the hopper, ooh, stuff's bouncing off. Looks like, okay, that's like a weird laggy thing. But it's not sucking in the items until I turn that off. Now that means you can control when a hopper is going to be outputting stuff, which is very good. So now hoppers themselves, if I get a comparator, will output a signal based on how full they are. So now I think if I turn that on, I can fill this with stuff. And note that if I manually add stuff to it, it won't feed it through either while that's on. And you can see that we have a redstone signal based on how full it is. And because this thing has a lot less slots than a chest, it starts outputting redstone a lot quicker. You know, basically, if one of those was completely full of stuff, like this is completely full of ender pearls. If I do that now, those 2 slots are full of ender pearls. You cannot get any more ender pearls in. So this thing is now already 2/5 full just from those 2. So you can see that you can start having the hoppers control whether or not stuff is happening. So like if this hopper gets empty, it could call items in, you know, and say, hey, I want items. If I demonstrate how we would do that, is we could no redstone torches? No redstone torches. So you could imagine that, you know, also if this chest is full, then this thing will just hang on to the stuff it can until there's room in the chest. So you could imagine that this hopper is at the end of some automated process. Maybe it's a chicken cooking farm. And if this chest is full of chicken, then we don't want anything to happen. You know, so imagine this isn't there, you know. But basically this chest is full of chicken. This item hopper is full of chicken. So we don't want anything to happen. So this signal, which goes off to the chicken killing mechanism, is off. But then we come along and we take stuff out of the chest, which I'll simulate by doing that. So this allows items to start to go into the chest. And the moment the hopper is empty, just waiting for the items to trickle down. It's like one item a tick or something. Then this comparator should stop outputting a signal, which turns that torch on, and bang. We've now activated the thing which says, hey, those chickens over there which have been growing up all this time, let's kill them and cook them and deliver their nice, you know, and deliver them to there. Whereupon it would turn it off again. So you can imagine the possibilities on this. They are amazing. And, well, you know, just the fact you can automate all this stuff. You can use this for automatic item sorting. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate that now, but some people have come up with some really good designs whereby if your hopper is, say, you have to load the hopper like so. So it can only, you know, so now it can only accept iron ingots into it. And you've got like this sort of control mechanism is controlling whether or not the hopper itself will output stuff. So okay, I said I wasn't going to explain it, and here I am about to explain it. But oh, okay, I don't want that to happen. This isn't how you actually set them up. This is pretty rubbish. Yeah, this thing emptied itself because of that. What I need to do is temporarily put a lever to lock it in place. This is probably running far too much of a distance. Yes, it's only running 2. But the idea is that this hopper's own output prevents it from delivering stuff, so long as it's at a certain level of items. So you're sort of inverting the signal and so on. But then the moment you add more items to it, it says, "Oh, I've received some steel," and the only thing that the only thing which could go into this hopper is steel. So it says, "Oh, I've received some extra steel. So let's deliver steel for a bit until we drop down to the same level we were before." I'm just manually timing this, but you know, there you go. Which means you've now delivered the steel which just arrived into the chest that's underneath. And you could have loads of these lined up, each of them with a different item in, and a water stream running over the top. So I come back from mining, I've got a messy inventory, I could just dump everything into a single chest, which feeds all the items into the system, and then they get sorted. So, yeah, brilliant. So that's what I'm going to be aiming to do. is my plan is to have an auto-sorting storage room. I want auto-managing chicken cookers and cow cookers and everything, which will just you know, that they'll just work. You can use this to do auto potion brewing, auto smelting. You can automate everything now in vanilla Minecraft, which just blows my mind. I mean, the sort of stuff, you know, we're always trying to do in TechIt is now possible in vanilla Minecraft. It's tricky. You know, it's not something that's easy or automatic, but you know, you combine that and the fact that containers will now output stuff based on how full they are, and there's some amazing stuff that can be done. So that's what I'm going to be thinking about and and planning and so on. I'm not sure which to start with. I'm probably just going to start with the daylight sensor on the lighthouse because that's a very simple job, and then I'm just going to have to think about things. Okay, that's probably it for this episode. So it was just, me investigating the new redstone a bit. I'm probably going to use this area here to sort of work out my designs as well. So when I start to come up with ideas, I'll show them to you. And then we can go about actually implementing them. So that's it for now. See you next time. Bye-bye.